Oh, hello. Oh, other people of the same species as me, other beings, other sentient beings of the same species as me. Which I find it hard to believe sometimes that I'm related to other people of the same species, or that I'm the same species as some of the other people. God, I got to try to stop this negativity and this pessimism. It's, it's something that just kind of prolongs itself, it feeds on itself. I have to make a conscious effort to try to stay optimistic. But I, I've got to say, I am a true believer in cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, especially after the '08 or '09 economic meltdown when all these white collar thieves, and I would say the government was complicit when they bailed these guys out too, and none of them went to jail. If I'm black or in the minority in this country, or a minority in this country, or even like, I don't understand, like, people that are struggling with poverty supporting. I don't want to say that. So what do I want to say? Uh, I want to say that uh, that I'm a Bitcoin maximist. And all that means is that I believe in the concept completely. Since the taxpayers were raped in '08 and '09 by Wall Street, and I mean raped. There's no other way to describe it. These white collar thieves just destroyed our country's economy. Just destroyed it. All from greed. Just watch The Big Short. And if you don't understand what happened, it's really important that you do, because really what it comes down to is white collar thieves. They can do anything they want. And I'll give you a perfect example right now. Forget about going to back to '08 and '09. Right now, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, white collar thieves see this as a new technology that people are buying into, and it's their opportunity to go out and economically or fiscally rape people. So in the past, I'm going to say 6 weeks, three and probably more, 4 or 5 major cryptocurrency exchanges have collapsed. And the biggest one collapsed this week, FTX. That's Frank Tango. That's Foxtrot Tango X-Ray, FTX. Run by one guy. There's my one, the single point of failure. And you have a greedy thief at the helm, okay? And he set it up beautifully. I think about Hyman Roth and The Godfather 2. I reference Godfather movies, even Godfather 3, Godfather 1 and 2, man. They are, to me, they're a perfect profile and display of human nature at its best and at its worst, mostly at its worst. And it drives our country towards socialism, which is a bad thing because socialism doesn't work. But it seems like socialism has got to come in to get these guys, to keep these guys in check. For example, what I'm going to call crimes, and I'm about to describe to you, committed in China, these same white-collar crimes committed in China will get you the firing squad. And there was an example of that not too long ago. A guy thought he could pocket $250,000 from whatever position he was in, and this is in China. And he absconded with, like, somehow or another, he got $250,000, and he put it in his pocket. He had the chance to do it, and he did it, and he put it in his pocket, and he got caught. They executed him. All right, he went to trial, and he was laughing, or he was smiling, like white-collar guys. Hey, hey, everything's good. It's all good. Oh, don't worry about it. No problem. Don't worry. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. So, well, that guy's on to the next life to find out, if he can do the same thing. But what my point is that, in unfettered, unregulated capitalistic economy and culture, the worst of human nature, the very worst of human nature, brings everything down. And that's what these freaking bozos don't get, that they're going to go down too. You know, you take the whole system down, guess what? You're on the Titanic, and it's going down with everybody. And I'm not saying it exists right now, but what happened in the past 6 weeks, especially this week with FTX, it's a cryptocurrency exchange, kind of like a brokerage if you're buying or selling stocks, but they are an exchange, you know, to help people buy and sell cryptocurrency. And Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency, and it's decentralized. You don't know what that means, don't worry about it now, but it's a key aspect of where you want your cryptocurrency, how you want the kind of cryptocurrency that you want. And really it's Bitcoin. I don't think anything is even remotely close to Bitcoin as far as being decentralized. Decentralized means no one person or no one entity can mess with it. Matter of fact, nobody can mess with it. That's what got the government so upset. What? You know, there's foreign money out there that we can't tax? Oh, they'll tax it. They'll find a way to tax it. That's for sure. The government. What else do they do? I don't know what else. They put more money and effort and resources and energy into getting your money and my money, and then giving it to these white-collar thieves. Listen, that's the truth. You look at 08 and 09, those guys just got away with like the biggest heist in history, and not a one of them went to jail. Anyway, so you know what happened then. It's mortgage-backed securities, and they were all awful. They said, you know, selling it, don't worry about that. Watch The Big Short. So anyway, cryptocurrency now. The exchange FTX, this guy Sam Bankman-Fried, they call him SBF. Man, he was the darling. It's the same story. He was helping Celsius. He bought out Voyager. When Voyager went under for the same thing that I'm going to describe, and he came in with his exchange and says, okay, well, we'll buy this company. And everybody was like, man, he's got his stuff together, man. He's got money to do all these, to do this bailout and everything. Cool. Well, he went down this week. Same thing. He was taking depositors' money and using it for his own purposes. Okay, that is the highest level of theft. Grand larceny, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what. To me, it's a crime that should send him to jail for 20 years minimum. You don't want this guy out, man. It's like Charlie Manson in the world of murder and violence. This guy's the same thing. He's a total psychopath. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about all the people that gave him their money to buy cryptocurrency, and now they can't get their cash. I don't call it dollar money. We'll call it money for now. They can't get their money back, and they can't get their cryptocurrency back either. In my book, I tell you what. There's people who are losing a lot of money. Tom Brady, he's the famous football player. Guess where he had a lot of his money? In FTX, and he can't. And it's gone. It's gone. So what these guys, the three exchanges that went under are Celsius, Voyager, and FTX, and there's going to be another one or two that go down too, I'm sure. But FTX is a bombshell because it was big. It's really, they were valued over $90 billion with a B. Now who's doing these valuations? So what you have to get a fair valuation and a fair assessment is to have an auditor, but somebody that's not being paid by the same people that they're auditing. Like Moody's and Standard & Poor's bond rating agencies. I mean, just watch The Big Short. But I knew this before that movie came out. They rate the bonds from all the big Wall Street banks, right? So Wall Street Bank pays them. Now, how's that an unbiased assessment of their financial situation? It isn't. And it's incredible what the white-collar thieves get away with. So this exchange went down because this guy took, and there was another exchange looking to bail him out, and they looked at his books and they backed down. They said, forget it. You got a $10 billion hole in here. What did you do with the $10 billion that we can't find? He took it and he loaned it out or something at high interest. People are supposed to pay him back. It wasn't his money to loan out. It was the depositor's money, but apparently he has full access, unfettered access to everybody's accounts, everybody's money. Are you kidding? Holy shit. This is why the one move that Donald Trump made on restricting visitors from terrorist companies, I was so impressed by that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. That being said, there have been many presidents, number of presidents, I should say, that were in office that I didn't like. I didn't like them being there, but then I came to realize there were some good things that they did. And that one thing that he did, in my impression, in my opinion, was the right thing to do and should have been done a long time ago. And the entire left wing started calling him a racist. The 7 countries were dominated by Muslim populations, but that's where the terrorists would go there and train. They get all their murdering techniques down, and they come to our country from these countries, the same countries: Libya, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Middle East, couple countries in the Middle East. Somewhere else too, I'm not sure where. Africa, somewhere in Africa, a couple places in Africa, I think. So he, and everybody called him a racist. That was not racism. That was, I had some hope for him when he did that. But then everything got down to this like horrible kind of like a belligerence, And it's just towards the other side. It's just like, I can't support that. But I did support that one thing that he did. So he did something that was going to be unpopular, right? It's unpopular. You can't do that. It's never been done before. Do it. Fix this stupid problem, man. Yeah, frankly, I'm against too much regulation. But there should be penalties on the books. When you pull a move like this, you're giving everything up, man. Your life is going to suck because you're going to jail. You're going to jail. How's that? You don't understand the rule of law that we have in this country? That's another reason people like to immigrate here. There's a rule of law here, and that doesn't always work either. Look at the mafia. They shunned the rule of law for a long time. They have their own rule of law. Family first, yeah, There's a lot to be said for that too, I suppose. But anyway, so if you look at the markets today, I think you see that equity markets is up, but this guy has really hurt and damaged the cryptocurrency market. Now, it's not going away. Bitcoin's never going away. It's actually a bargain right now, in my opinion. But, with our federal government, the Federal Reserve, they're able just to print as much money as they want. Hey, we need $1 trillion with a T. We need $1 trillion to keep the economy afloat. Here you go. Spread it out. Well, they give it to the banks. They gave that $1 trillion to the banks, and then the banks took it and made all kinds of money on it. The banks and the government are incestual. I can say that with complete confidence. The banks and our government, well, look at the Federal Reserve. You can't get a more obvious example of incest than that. And the Federal Reserve always says, well, we're not part of the federal government, and technically I guess they're not. Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, yeah. But the president can't fire anybody over there, and they don't have any control over, who runs the show there. But it's obvious. It's obvious. So the moral of the story is spread your assets around. I have physical, not where I live, but in a safe deposit box. I have physical gold and silver, some. I love crypto. I love Bitcoin. I love the idea of a currency or money that the government can't touch. I love that. The government doesn't like it for obvious reasons, but I love that. Other cryptos, man, I'd be careful. And the key is decentralized. Decentralized means that there's no one person or even one little group of people that can control what's going on. And there are no controllers with Bitcoin. And that's why it's volatile. There's nobody controlling whether it goes up or down or anything like it. It goes up and down according to market activity. It's Friday and it's Veterans Day. My deep gratitude and thanks go to our veterans that stand on guard for our country every day. I especially send out my thanks and gratitude and respect, my deepest respects to combat veterans. Imagine being an 18-year-old in 1968 and you're drafted into the army and you've grown up in this wonderful, great country, and then they ship you to the other side of the planet to Vietnam, where it's absolute hell. That was, if there was a hell on earth, that was it. And we were dropping napalm on little straw huts and villages of people we don't even know. You know, napalm. If you don't know what that is, educate yourself, because it's hard to believe that we came up with, the human race, nuclear weapons, napalm, claymore mines, man, just the list goes on and on. How many efficient and more efficient ways we have of killing each other. Somebody can try to explain that to me, but don't even bother, because it'll never make any sense to me. Anyway, I hope things are good for you guys. I hope that there's good things happening for you. If you see a veteran today, thank him or her for their services. A lot of women are serving proudly in our armed forces now, and I think that's terrific. I think that's wonderful. It's a way of life. I'm sure that they'll tell you that. And to my nephew Dan, who did 2 tours of duty in Iraq, thank you. Thank you. As long as we have a democracy here and we're doing things like that, I thank you. But I don't know how one person like George W. Bush, who I don't mind as a person, I believe he's a good person. He made a bad mistake with Iraq, that's all. But he did that whole war on his own because he's the commander-in-chief, right? But still, man, when we're throwing billions of dollars, billions, actually, that was over $1 trillion, I'm sure, and the blood of so many people and the lives of so many people, I think it should be the responsibility of more than one person to be able to do that. And apparently it isn't. Apparently the president can just push a button and blow up the whole world, and nobody can stop him. If that's not true, I'd invite a counterpoint to that. And other than that, I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Goodbye.